The following program is a real estate and mortgage show and does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Reality Radio 101, its advertisers and sponsors, or its listening audience. Listener discretion is advised. Good morning and welcome to Your Home, Your Money, and the Randy Rodney Birthday Show right here on Reality Radio 101. To get on board, send us an email on air at yourteam.pro. And now, right to your host of Your Home, Your Money, Randy, Jackie, and Anthony.
Got the statement on him.
Hey, we are live on air, Jack.
Good morning, ladies
Good
and
morning.
gentlemen.
It's Randy's birthday. Let's start off with that then.
What are you, 84,
Randy's
85?
a big 59 this morning.
Just 59.
And he's like, what? I'm 59? He's like, the next number is 60. They go in order.
Yeah, it's kind of, wow, that means we got to plan something big for next. I can't be broke at 60. 59, fine. I don't mind being broke. I had a talk with Tiff Macklin this morning. And
I think you were dreaming that.
No, I actually had a talk with him. He kept ignoring what I was saying.
Was he even actually talking back to you?
Yeah, he was.
What was he saying?
Well, it was an old conversation that he had with another reporter.
Oh.
And, but it felt like he was talking to me because I was asking the same questions as the reporter. It was quite
I'm
interesting.
assuming nothing changed from the last time he said that.
No, it was really strange. He's very consistent.
Consistency is good sometimes.
Yeah. So, but one of the things that he promised is that he's not going to bankrupt everyone. He's only going to bankrupt a small section of the population. Unfortunately, I'll be in that section. But he says if I can hang in there, I will do very, very well. So that's where we're at.
Seems like that
Well,
might be a big
at
if.
58, starting a huge business.
Yeah.
You got big cooliones, buddy.
Well, when would you start it? I get, what, actually it's a good idea to start it when you're younger because then you got more time to build it, more energy. And more,
Well, we're not,
and
I
probably
shouldn't
your
have said
wife
that.
would have more energy too.
I shouldn't have said that because we've already built the business. But now we have built we got a new location and we're renovating that. So the business we've had going for 38 years, 37 years.
And not this kind of business.
Well, this is a little different. We're taking on quite a bit of things. It's exciting what's going on here at your team, people. You're going to want to get involved.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. So, you know what?
Remember, we're on YouTube, Your Team Pros. If you want to see Randy's pretty face this morning at 59.
And also, I know I've been away for a few weeks. I left Randy with controls. And as you probably noticed, our email was giving us some trouble. So again, I apologize for Randy. We tell him not to get into the cookie jar, but he's going to do what he's going to do. But
Yeah, that's right.
But I'm back, and it's all fixed. We're good to go. So if you have any questions, concerns, quandaries, quirks, send it to onair@yourteam.pro. Or if you just want to tell Randy to leave stuff alone, onair@yourteam.pro. We would love to hear from you. What were you going to say now, Randy? You have something of
You know what? Yeah, I wanted to say something a little more important than that. No, I'm just
You
kidding.
want to hear from our people?
Hey, yeah. So no, that's great. But I had a little thing. I had a moment with.
You have a lot of
Yourself?
moments, but I want to hear about this one.
Yeah, this was a real moment, like an aha moment.
It's aha.
Did you finally realize that I'm the smartest person in the room?
Yeah, I knew that a while ago, actually.
Okay, just making sure.
And I'm the pretty one, so I don't know what that leaves you.
I knew that a long time ago.
Oh.
A long time ago. But this just blew me away. I wrote down some numbers here, and I did this on Tuesday. And these numbers, I'm trying to show Anthony them. So I'm going to put my computer down and just move it aside here.
Yeah.
These numbers are absolutely incredible. And what they are is I pulled up some historical data from the Toronto Real Estate Board, right? And the Toronto Real Estate Board historical data goes all the way back to 1953. And so I just wanted, I don't know what I actually wanted at that moment. I just wanted to just see what came from my thoughts. And what I did was I said, okay, every 100,000, every time the year breaks $100,000, so
I mean, goes up by
goes up by 100,000. So, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000. When were those marks in history for the real estate board? And I didn't know why I was doing it. I was looking for some fun facts.
That's normal.
And what happened was a huge transformation in my brain. Now, I want to sort of bring this back a little bit. We have a young gentleman who's visiting our house.
Huh?
I don't want to mention names. He's visiting our house, and he's going to engineering school. Now, he was offered a job while going to school.
He's still in school.
Well,
not
he's in
finished
school.
until May.
And it's $90,000 a year to start. So I started thinking back to when I was a young genius. and
Sorry.
I was trying to figure out, how much. If he's getting that, I must have been getting, quite a bit, because the world would have known, right?
Well,
that
I
I'm
can tell you
X-Men.
about 27 years ago, I was a manager in retail, and I was making I was bringing home $2,000 a month. And that was good money then. I was able to do whatever I wanted with rent for my place and stuff, because I was paying $750 for a big 2-bedroom basement apartment. So was it 2,000 a month? It must have been 4,000 a month. That doesn't make sense.
It sounds like 2,000 sounds about right.
Just
but-
add on to it before you finish the story, because I have an engineering degree as well. And when I got out of school, again, my thing wasn't as pretty, because the job I ended up getting to start was, I believe, $35,000 per year.
And that was when you finished.
That was.
He's just getting started, right?
No, he's not getting started.
Oh,
He's graduating with his
But I'm
degree.
saying,
in
yeah, well, that was
May.
pretty much right after I finished, right? So it's
Okay.
probably similar to him, where again he's maybe just before, I was right after. But my point is, then I graduated 05, so that would have been 18 years ago.
Yeah, so.
So again, I don't know if it's.
And you were like 40? Is that right? 40 I mean
like
40,000?
35,000.
35,000. So
you're really smart. You're an engineer and a teacher?
he's a smart guy. We all know
Really?
he's a smart guy.
Okay.
It doesn't take a lot to
I
figure
know he's
that one
smart,
out.
but wow,
So-
he's super duper smart.
So for me, when I got out of school, I think it was around 6-something.
6,000.
$6 and something an hour or something. It was something like that.
I don't know what it was. I can
can't-
remember
I
when it
know
was
I
like
can't brag.
$8 minimum wage.
I know I
was.
can't brag about it. That's for sure. And actually, I think I got the job because the government was paying for me to work for that company. So the company didn't even have to pay. And I'm just thinking, holy smokes, look at the difference. The difference today of what they get as a salary versus what we got as a salary and it's just starting to escalate. So the thing is that and I'm not talking about affordability yet, that's going to come into play after all of these current moves take place, and we'll see the historical graphs. But here we are, us older people, I'm putting you in that category too.
But he's not.
And here we are complaining about the marketplace.
I need to jump in here though, because you kind of doing what I did when I was here a few weeks ago. You kind of cherry picking. So this person, yeah, he has the $9,000 job.
True.
But is that indicative of?
Of everyone.
No, because
it's not.
the next offer he got, he got an offer to go to the States, right? It was in Michigan.
Okay,
and
it's
they
not
offered
about him. It's about me.
No, but I'm
We're not
telling
gonna do
him,
a
he's
history
saying,
on
is
him.
this normal? The next offer he got, he said, was like 60,000. So 90,000 is good.
Okay.
It's a good incentive to move.
So let's get back to the point here.
To Randy. Let's get back to Randy.
So because you're going to start talking about the dog and the cats, and so you like that, huh?
If I was close enough, I'd go, what?
Okay. So now what I'm saying is that today things have really honestly changed, like big time. And where we can't understand or even appreciate that, the average house is over $1 million, and I still can't wrap my face around that at all. I don't get it. I don't get the prices. They don't make sense to me. But then
But that's because you've been in real estate for 40 years.
I know another 22-year-old who has, who has a stay-at-home job. They work from home. And they've made over $100,000 so far this year.
Between January and February?
Between January and February.
A job?
Yes.
A job, a career, a job. So the thing is that, and that's a young 22-year-old. And so what's happening?
That's not a job.
What do you mean?
She
It's
works
a career.
harder than us.
Everything is a career, man. Selling pencils.
No, but when you say job, people are thinking you're working for somebody. You're doing a
You
9
are
to
working
5.
for somebody.
Well, you're working for yourself.
That's-
She's an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I get it. But that's a bit different. I'm saying you
Okay.
can't. That's
Okay, you're talking
Yeah.
about a company. It's not a
Yeah,
company
This
saying.
guy is a
I'm saying
teacher,
is-
so you got like all these categories. I don't have them.
But
You either work or you don't work. You get a welfare
The
check.
point I'm making is most people can't do what the person you're talking about is doing and make that type of money.
That's true.
I'll agree with you that it takes a certain person, a certain
But it's
consist.
definitely a job
but
in the terms of what a
it's
job
a job
is.
because she's working like 12 hours a day at her craft.
Yeah, no, it's amazing what she's doing.
But what he's talking about is
I
that a
understand what
company
you're
that's
saying.
saying,
if
I'll pay
you
you.
have 100 people, there's maybe 2 who can do that.
I don't even believe there would be 2. I think it would be
I
smaller.
was trying to. I was
No,
trying to
it's
be,
more than
okay,
2.
so
Right,
I can guarantee you it's more
I
than 2.
definitely agree with what you're saying, but the point is that opportunity is there. That opportunity for that 22-year-old to make that money is there. And they're doing their job, their career, whatever you want to call it. If you say it's not a job, then whatever. Then you give that person another title. It's a gooblagoo.
Entrepreneur. She's different.
She's an entrepreneur? Okay.
When you say job to me, it's you're clocking for somebody. She's clocking for herself.
Okay. So I consider, I'm doing my job.
Actually, no, she's not, because if she doesn't clock in and do all the ads she has to do she's actually working for different companies.
I know. My point is though.
So
like,
she has to clock in or
it's-
she's not going to get paid.
But it's still.
And she's like a truck driver, because a truck driver has a schedule he's on. So a person like that is doing entrepreneurial like that, they have a schedule. You have to have this in by Monday at noon.
You have deadlines. Yeah.
Okay, my point is this. To me, I'd consider it's entrepreneur versus job. Job is this: you go and you're getting a paycheck from somebody every 2 weeks. 'cause
Yes,
you're going,
it is
you
different.
put in the 40 hours, you get a time. With
Okay.
her, she can put 40 hours and get nothing, but depending on what she.
Yeah,
does.
that's true. Yeah.
I just want to know if while I do this, if we are going to get into definitions on every odd words that we decide that we're
We
going to
can't
go
help
in
it.
my
we had to
soliloquy.
pick you apart.
I don't know where you're going with this. I'm just
Yeah,
trying,
well,
I'm trying to
you won't ever know.
Remember, I just like the numbers. I'm just making sure you're not cherry picking. So go on.
It is cherry picking.
It is my journey, whether it's a cherry picking or not. If you choose to not call something a job, then that's cool. And then you want to get into definitions, then go ahead.
All right, so we have 4 few minutes. I'll let you finish your rant.
Okay,
The only
I
issue is
appreciate that.
Your rants are like half an hour. So.
Oh yeah, well this one's gonna be about an hour and a half now. Gary, extend the show, please. So the thing is that what the realization that I came to outside of the definition of a job and what the second offer was, it doesn't have anything to do with any of that. It has to do with the reality that we are in a different world. Us older people I would say 35 years and older, we have now stepped into a new dimension. And we haven't realized it yet. You see, all of this inflation, you see all of the price increases in real estate, the disrupting of the interest rates and all of this is a transformation that's going on. And typically the haters, people like myself, call this a transformation of wealth. The wealth is being transferred from the many to the few.
But it's always been that.
Yes, but those points in history, we didn't really feel the way we're feeling it this time. And so what we're doing is we're going through that. And as we're going through this, the new generation, these seeds that are popping up, while you consider them random, they just happen to be two seeds that are in my life that I see. So whether you call them random or cherry picking, I only have a very small group of maybe that age of people in my life, maybe 10, and 2 of them have sprouted that way. They're making incredible money. Money they have the potential to make incredible money. And so I was blown away by that, and I started to realize that we are in this transformation. At least this is my belief. Then when I did this chart from 1953 to today, just know this transformation. The people who were from 1953 to 1983, it took 30 years for them to see the prices of home get to the $100,000 mark.
The $100,000?
$100,000 mark.
From 1953, okay.
The Toronto Real Estate Board did not cross that number until 1983, 30 years after they started documenting the numbers. So imagine those people, pretend we're those people. We're not thinking that houses will go up to 200,000 anytime soon, but 5 years later, houses went up another $100,000.
I was going to say, because 10 years after that, we bought our first home and we paid like $240,000.
Thank you for that bit of information. I really appreciate it.
So it's like doubled almost in 10 years. Is that right or no?
Okay, so in 1988 was the next time they went up 5 years. It took 5 years for it to go up 100,000.
That's how it works. 1980 to 1985 is 5 years, sweetheart.
1983 to 1988.
Oh.
Yeah. So, so there's definitely not going to be able to get any moments in this video because they're all changed. Do you want to add any more information about us personally or anything? Okay. So 1988 to 1983, in 5 more years, the price shot up another $100,000. They must have been blown away. Okay. So they were thinking there's no way that anybody can afford this, right? Look, it took 30 years to go up 100,000, and then in 5 years it went up 100,000.
Well,
you would be in turmoil. Those people.
Yeah, because your income didn't go up at that rate.
But then after that, there was a huge setback. The setback went from 1988 all the way until 1996. The price actually went up and down back to $200,000. In 8 years later, you had no value change. It went up and it went right back down. And then in 2004, 16 years total from 1998 to 2004, it took to go up another $100,000. Then it took 6 years to go up another $100,000, and now we're at $400,000. To get to $500,000, it took 3 years. To get to $600,000, it took 2 years. To get to $700,000, it took 1 year. And then we're back, and then after that, from 2016 on, with the exception of between 2017 and 2020, every year, $100,000 increase, $100,000 increase, $100,000 increase. Every year. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. This is insane. Now, couple that with the fact that our average price is $1 million. To actually have a $100,000 increase is way easier than ever before. Would you agree with that?
Well, yeah,
in terms of percentages, right?
Exactly. That's about to say.
So in terms of percentages, to get the $100,000 increase now is easy, where it was really hard before when it was $100,000 or $200,000 or $300,000 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. It was a lot harder to get a $100,000 increase in terms of percentages. Now, it can happen at the average rate of increase really soon, in and around 7% in the GTA, 3 to 5% throughout Canada. But I'm talking about the GTA here.
Okay, let's jump in for 1 second. Go ahead.
I want to finish with this. So, when is it going to turn into half a year? You know, when's it going to turn into half a year? Each year it goes like that for 10 years. And then that it only takes half a year for it to go up $100,000. Even if it's a full year or even if it's 2 years. What the heck else can you do to save that kind of money each and every year? What can you do? So yes, it's hard to get into the real estate industry. Yes, interest rates are high. But where are you going to go and get that kind of savings every year, $100,000 savings every year? I'm not sure. And that was my epiphany. My epiphany was, holy smokes, here we are all so worried, all thinking about the interest rates and all this stuff. But really, if you look at the trend, if you look at the numbers, you need to own a home, and you need to let that be one of your investments that are just sitting there. And you need to, instead of sitting there and complaining how the heck we're going to afford it, find a way to afford it, like these young people are doing, getting jobs at the end of our careers. That's the amounts that they're getting paid at the beginning of their careers. So we needed a shift. And there is no better time to do the shift than now. Why? For all you people that are sitting there in your comfortable jobs, they need you. They can't replace you right now. They can't, because there's not enough people for the amount of jobs. So what I'm saying is that you can actually ask for more money, and the chances of you getting it is better now than ever. But take a course on learning how to ask for money, know how to give value, know how to, and talk to some other industries or some other, some of your competition in that, because I'm sure they would pay. But I think right now is a great time for people to make more money at their jobs and be able to buy that home so they can get this. What real estate seems to be bringing in terms of savings every year, $100,000 it looks like per year on average since 2016. That's it. Go ahead.
Sorry.
What was your question?
I'm just looking at comments on YouTube. I think our daughter's on YouTube, and she says, "Hey, we love Anthony. This is a special 70th birthday edition for Mr. Rodney."
Well, on that note, we'll go to the emails first. But actually, what I was going to say, this to add on to your thing is, well, yeah, you're completely right, because, again, being the numbers guy, if real estate grows by, what is it, between 5 and 10% per year.
7-ish in the GTA, a little over 7.
Yeah, so even if I go on the low end, 5% on the low end. Yeah, as that base increases, 5% of $1 million is what, 50 grand?
50,000.
50 grand, right? So once we get to $2 million, you're looking at 100 grand per year, right? So yeah, you're definitely right in the sense that, obviously for me, it's
retirement.
You're gonna have those ebbs and flows because
right.
our income isn't going up, so you have to have the support to actually afford the home. But long term, again, as long as you can pay that monthly mortgage, you're bringing down the mortgage anyway. So it's a win-win situation.
Well, let's talk about what kept real estate going last year. Part of it. What was part of it? The parents who jumped in the market 25, 30 years ago and took the plunge and bought a home. Now their home is worth over $1 million. They're pulling out money, giving it to their kids, and now their kids are getting in the market. That was a lot of what went on last year.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, they were pulling out 200,000-300,000. Where were you going to, in a job,
2, 3, 4, 500.
save that amount of money that you can just say, here,
Right.
take it?
And that is one of the reasons why our investor rate went up like crazy. The government's complaining there's too many investors in Canada. The investors are ma and pa investing in their kids, giving them money and having to sign on the mortgage so they can get the house. That's they're not even taking these things into account. They think no, investors are coming in and ruining the market. The investors are here to help their kids. But I did want to say something about what you said, is that I understand that our incomes aren't climbing, but I'm going to tell you, honestly, I don't think that matters. This is the problem. Remember that transformation of wealth that I was talking about? What's happening is a bunch of people are going to be left behind. The people who are stuck in the yesterday world. You see, the world needs to constantly gain more and more money to support its habits from the past. So it's not going to get less, it's going to get more. The government needs it to get more. Why do you think when everybody is suffering, cheese, bread, milk, everything has gotten more expensive, and the government just slapped 10 new taxes on a whole bunch of stuff? But the government's concerned about affordability? They're not concerned about affordability. They understand that, you know what, that the last balloon was this big, the next balloon has to be this big. And the next balloon has to be this big. So it doesn't matter. We need to bring in more money. We're going to tax everybody. And that's what we got to do. And for the people who don't have an income, well, they can rent. Guess what? Rent and market is horrible too. And one more thing. What about the people who live in like Hollywood? And I'm not talking about the stars, because most of them are waiters. The extra, but what's it cost for a little tiny rundown bungalow there? $8 million.
I think in the States it's a bit different though, because in the States I think there's a lot of places you can go for much cheaper homes than you can in Canada.
True, but my point being is that that's unrealistic, but meanwhile it's still going on. And Toronto is the hot spot, Toronto and Vancouver. So when does Canada have its Hollywood? I think that's what we're seeing going on now. And if you want to go to the less expensive places, you're going to go to Alberta. You're going to go to British Columbia. That's what's going to happen. That's what I think is going to happen. Okay, go ahead.
And we have a bunch of emails. We have one from Mike. Says happy birthday.
Thank you, Mike.
Hello, Randy and crew. Happy birthday to Randy. Wow, 59. I saw him on video, and he does not look 59.
That's true.
He looks 82. Blessings to all.
That was Mike? Can we ban him?
I think Are you
able to block him?
Anthony likes him, he said.
Happy birthday from Irene. Happy birthday to the big guy. Where do I send the e-transfer for the walker?
Oh, shoot.
You can actually send it to that email. I will gladly take any donations for the walker. Thank you.
This is from Beth.
Irene. Hey, did I? No, Irene didn't win one issue. We can pull that money back.
You can't anymore.
All right, from Beth. We are all going bankrupt. No news there. Happy birthday, Randy.
Thank you, Beth. Hey, Beth. I hear you calling.
What?
What is going on?
But I can't come home right now.
What's that?
Because me and the boys are playing.
That's a song from Kiss's Peter Criss.
And I just can't find myself.
Sure sounds much better.
Just a few more hours.
Irene, you're special.
And I'll be back home to you.
Was it Irene? No, it's Beth.
I think I hear
Beth.
you calling. Oh, Beth, what can I do?
Beth, look at you. You got a song from Randy.
That was a long build-up to the
I don't even know if I remember the song. I'm like going, what are the damn words again? I haven't sang that since, I don't know. Holy
I've never heard
that'd be
you
like
sing
50 years or something like
This is
that.
Beth back in the day.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
Beth
Mr.
is
Randy?
Kiss. Yeah?
Those were the correct lyrics.
Oh, good.
Ooh, look at you.
Woo! Talk about memory.
He usually makes the lyrics up.
I do. You know, that's funny because a song will be playing and I don't hear the words. I hear the rhythm and everything. So even if I have the words in front of me, it's like, whoa, is that what you said? I will never remember. And so when I sing a song, I make up all the words. And she is crazy because she hears every single word. So she can't sit with me in the car if I'm saying the wrong word. She keeps saying, that's a wrong word, that's a wrong word. And she never ever clues in that that's how I sing. She keeps going, that's a wrong word, that's a wrong word. So I trigger her every time. It's funny.
All right, 3 more. One from Karen. Unfortunately for our viewers, it's a picture. It's Randy's old school desk. Looks like it's from the 50s.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at that ironwork on that thing. That's nice.
Oddly enough, I remember that desk.
From Ken. Hello, folks. What is that 22-year-old person doing at home? Porn.
No.
No, but I hear you. I don't think you would make that
Hey,
good
what's
of money
that
with
site?
porn.
Fans only? I'm telling you, that's
Backwards.
a site.
OnlyFans.
Did I say it? I
what's-
always say it backwards.
What?
It's where you can go on. It's basically kind of like a little porn site, and people pay to
cam,
see you.
whatever.
Yeah.
And finally,
Stay away from that stuff, people.
Finally, from Henry. Happy birthday to Randy. We love your show. We hope that you get lots of sex for your birthday today.
I like
No,
Henry.
I don't know where he's going then.
I like Henry.
All right, that's all we got.
I do like Henry.
Thanks.
We need to send him a prize. Oh, hold on. This is the last Saturday of the month. Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
next week we will
Oh,
be doing the
shoot.
draw. We're going to be sending out the draw for next week.
We totally
Yeah.
forgot, but we're really busy here at the office. We got contractors on the go.
And
we have everything.
renovations
And as
going
you
on.
can see, what Randy does in his spare time, because he is the typical epitome of a nerd in real estate. He goes back and figures out from 1953. So guys, if you want a realtor that has his heart in the business, call Randy.
All right, before you go, we have one that came in. Randy is causing inflation from Paul. So Randy is calling for wage increases. That's just inflation. Paul and Curtis. Thank you, Paul.
Actually, I read an email the other day saying that, not an email, a article that was saying how they are going to have to up the, inflation is going up because the cost of everything is going up so high that they're going to have to inject again with interest rates. But why don't you inject and stop people price gouging groceries and everything? Like, come on.
How do you know they're price gouging? You know, the price of gas is going up.
Well,
so
yeah, that's
that
true. I
it
shouldn't have
costs them
said
more.
that. That's-
And
yeah.
and the employees. You know
My
what?
bad. I shouldn't have said that.
No. I hear where you're coming from because it's just so easy for us to blame everybody except
Yeah.
for the Bank of Canada and the federal government. We're going to blame everybody else, the corporations, everybody. This problem started. Like, I agree that we would be in some issues either way, probably, let's just pretend, but we wouldn't be in the situation we are in if our government did not perform the way they performed.
And shut down? What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
The way they shut everything down, which I was against at the time. I thought it was insane, and it was, and there were other alternatives, and couple dummies like myself had solutions that would have actually worked, we believe. But our government went rogue and started blaming everybody for trying to kill each other. And then they created 2 camps. The camp, you got to wear a mask and all that. And the other camp was like, look at your mask. It's got holes on it. Does that mask work for viruses? And the person, yeah, it's an N95. Yeah, does N95 work for viruses?
Okay, we're not getting into that. Stop
Anyways,
So this kind of piggyback on that. I guess I know we shut down. The state shut down. Which countries didn't shut down? Were there any countries that didn't shut down?
I can't remember now, to be honest with you. But yeah, there were.
The state shut down, but New York didn't have, parts of the states were not the whole states, because like New York, they didn't even have to wear a mask. They weren't banned.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes, there were
because
parts.
our
Florida.
daughter has a friend there, and she said, lives in New York, and she's like, we don't even have to wear a mask. People are out doing their usual thing. Maybe not in the beginning.
Parts did, parts didn't.
Yeah.
Right. And the point is, and then everybody survived the same damn way.
I guess the reason I'm asking though is because we have inflation going crazy. States have inflation going crazy. I'm just curious. Countries that maybe didn't do it, how is their inflation right
Okay, yeah, that's interesting.
Oh,
But
shit.
the
Now
inflation,
that's new research
but
this
no, the inflation isn't isn't from COVID or shutdowns necessarily, although shutdowns did, like everybody's going to be having a problem because the supply chains was broken, okay? So that's one problem. But then you multiply that problem with the spending that the federal governments did. And then you multiply that problem with the quantitative easing that the central banks did by buying up all those junk bonds, I will have to call them, and then giving bonuses to the banks, basically. And then you take these and the three multipliers, and that's what we're living in. And then we're all sitting home, not allowed to leave our houses, and then we're and saving money like crazy. Then we're allowed out, and so we want to go and spend the money. So you add all these things together, and it's just a recipe for disaster, right? So so the thing is, it's not just because Canadians went out and spent. There's a lot more to it, and it's all being blamed on Canadians going out and spending money, and that's what irks me. Go. So I don't keep going on that.
Hi, Jack. You want to go with your?
Well, I got the first one's a little short one, which is just that the predicament. Let me bring that back up. Sorry, because I was on something else. Where is it? Canadian real estate. Okay, so this is from Better Dwelling, and like we say all the time, and I'm going to say this again. This is just articles. They're not necessarily facts. They're not necessarily all right.
They're usually facts.
People's opinions, but
Yeah.
sometimes
They're
it's
just-
a little sketchy, okay?
Yeah.
So this article is saying that the Canadian real estate price correction, it's going to be one of the largest in the world when our correction happens, which is happening. It's going to be one of the largest in the world, and they are saying they're predicting that it's going to be about 64% delinquencies in mortgages.
Well,
Oh yeah, you'd have to read more into that. I think you're surface driven on that.
and just to kind of touch on that, like, again, I'm not sure about the largest correction in the world, but we did have one of the largest increases in the world. So, I guess
So
that
what
could
comes
kind of-
after that, right?
Yeah, so, touching on that, remember, we've had a huge correction already.
Yeah.
Like absolutely massive correction. If you don't recall, we've had one of the most devastating Januaries of all time. I believe it was 16.9%. We called for double-digit decreases in the marketplace. And by the way, for February, we already called this in December, that February is going to be double digits, but it's not going to have a 1 in front of it. It's going to have a 2 in front of it. It's going to be 20-something. Could even tip to 30%
Yeah, that
decrease
was
in the
another
market.
article that
So
I
we're
read,
going
yeah.
to say 20-something percent, but that's just the numbers. So yeah, it's the most devastating time in the history of the Toronto Real Estate Board.
But they're saying in the
And-
world, they're
and-
putting it out there that it's going to be the largest in the world
And
that the
it
world's
just-
ever seen.
And it just may be. I mean, we've got some big numbers
So do we have
ahead
to
of
find
us.
another career or something?
Well, I don't understand.
But again, it's kind of going back again. If we had again, if we're going to cherry pick February when we grew by what was 20% last year was like the high at February last year, 20-something%. So again, when you not saying you have to whatever goes up must come down, but like because it went up so fast, like
Yeah.
if we generally go up by 7% per year, where it's like it's a
Yeah.
steady increase, where we just kind of shot up,
Yeah.
and nothing else shot up, just the house prices, right? So where's all that money come from? Like, I know you're saying like there's
Especially-
different situations and people giving money to like their kids and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but still like. Again, if you had a variable rate at that time and you were paying $2,000, $3,000 a month, now you're paying $4,000 a month, or so it's a lot of different
It's tough.
levers.
Yeah,
that people-
from 0.25% Bank of Canada rate to 4.5%. Holy crap, that's insane
And
increase.
listen, everybody is
in a
feeling
year.
it. It's
Oh,
everybody.
it is
I mean,
definitely.
okay,
it's
the
a
ultra
problem.
rich is not really feeling it, but that.
No, they're
but
laughing.
They're laughing, but let's
Because
say a
they
lot
know
of them
what's
did
going
work
on.
for their money too. A lot of people hate them, but some of them work hard for their money.
All of them work hard for their money. All
Well,
of them.
some of it's inherited. So.
Yeah, but still, they have to put up with their parents. Can you imagine living in that environment?
Yeah, we're taking jets
Can I
everywhere.
imagine living in that environment where I just get whatever I want? Oh no, I can't imagine it.
You lived there for many years, actually. Blew all our money, and now we're broke.
We raised 2 daughters. They're not cheap.
especially the way you raise them.
I'll let you read this one.
That wasn't a burn. I don't care. What it said.
Burn.
From George.
Happy B-Day, Randy. I hope that he gets a...
No, don't
say
even
it.
say it. Don't.
Okay.
What is wrong with you people out there this morning? Get your
Yeah.
minds out of the gutter.
He hopes that my wife takes very good care of me. That's what he's saying.
We're working all day,
Who
so there
was
you go.
that?
That was from George.
George.
And from Tim, hey Randy, happy birthday to you. Randy's absolutely right regarding COVID. Hey, me buying eggs in the grocery store the other day. I don't get what the picture is.
Oh, it's golden.
Oh,
eggs.
golden eggs.
Oh,
Because
golden
of the-
eggs.
Because of the
okay.
price of them.
Okay, makes sense now. Yeah. Anywho, kind of, I guess, jumping on what Jackie was saying. The article I have is, I'll give you the title: "People freaked out as house values plummet in Oshawa would be Ajax, Pickering, and Clarington. How low can they go?" And it goes on to talk about like a house that sold in Oshawa. Again, we're cherry picking dates here, but back in February 2022, a house sold for around $1.6 million. And today, a similar houses on that same street are selling for $500,000 less, right? So you bought the house February 2022, you paid 1.6 million, and now if you had to sell for, let's say something happened and unfortunately you had to sell, you'd be selling for around $1.1 million. So you would have lost $500,000 in that time. So yeah, people are freaking out, and the issue is even though the house is $500,000 less, your mortgage might be the same, if not more, because of our increase in
Well.
interest rates as well. So
Easy come, easy go, right?
So, interesting stat.
Which is
then.
really what it is. It easily came in where we got this big influx of equity, and now it's going.
I have the Toronto Real Estate Board stats here with me. I have the Toronto Real Estate Board stats with me, so I just want to go over, because you're going to get this kind of stuff in the news about that home, and that home may have been over-purchased. Like, as realtors, we feel responsible for the prices that our clients buy homes at. And if I'll be 100% honest with you, you can interview all of our clients, and not one of them ran into a situation like that. They ran into the situations, but they didn't buy those houses because we give them parameters that are safe parameters to purchase in given the times. And I will bet you that $1.6 million purchase was absolutely some rogue realtor that was caught up in the hype, and the buyers were caught up in the hype. They didn't have a logical, sensible person working for them. That's my opinion. Yeah. And so here are the real numbers. 2021, the average price in Oshawa was $967,000. And today it's $775,000. So you're looking at about $200,000, like around a 20% drop in Oshawa. So when you see these examples of 30 and 40% drop, those are the examples of actually not having the right team behind you to help you.
Just to kind of jump in here again.
Yeah.
Again,
unless we were on the seller's side, because then we don't really care. But on the buyer's side,
yeah, the number you're using average numbers, right? So which,
yes,
again, it could be, but again, if the house over 1.6 million, I'm assuming it's at least I'm hoping it's a decent house in a good area.
Of course.
So again, I'm not sure if like that 20% is indicative of, again, the higher areas too, because you're using an average, right? So the average price dropped by 20%. But if you're on upper end, did the upper end drop by 20% as well?
They're holding better.
Well, I was talking to somebody the other day, and a lady bought her house. I don't have the exact date, I can't remember, but I think it was like a year ago, not even, in Ajax. And she bought it for $1 million, or a little over $1 million. And of course, with all the interest rates and the cost of everything going up, she's gone delinquent. She can't pay her mortgage because of everything. And now she's trying, they're trying to help her out and get her, either a new mortgage or get, well, they don't want her to lose her home because she's got to live somewhere, right? So basically, the person called me, or I was talking to them, they're like, her house is like coming in at $850,000. And I said, well, if you want me to do a quick CMA for you and shoot it over to you so you have a second opinion, but I said, based on what you're saying, that's really, the prices have went down almost 200,000 or more out here in Durham in some areas. And that's what hers went
20%.
down, right? 850 from about $1 million. So people who are even trying to get out are going to get out of the market in a negative. They're not even going to.
If they bought within the last.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. People that bought
In the last year.
and the interest rates are
Or
going
two.
up and everything, and some of them were on, not a fixed mortgage rate, they're hurting. And then they can't even sell and get out and even out. Like, what do you do? So, like, they're trying to help, and there's an older lady, so they're trying everything in their power to help her keep her house, but not even
I don't know who you're talking about. How come I don't know who you're talking about?
because there was nothing we could do. Like,
You need to talk to me about that one after.
okay,
How come that wasn't brought to my attention?
I guess Linda, I don't know.
Yeah, because there are some things that can be done.
Well, maybe after the show you need to give Linda a call then, because this is an older
is-
lady and she feels so bad.
It's a
and
lawyer
she's trying everything.
having a problem with, I guess, a client. But she didn't bring it to my attention. There are some things that can be negotiated. So, yeah, and that's exactly those are exactly situations that we need to help people with. You see, here, a shameless plug. We do sell real estate. We do work with buyers and sellers. That's what we do. And we would love to work with you under those circumstances. But we also do help people to save their homes as well. We help people to become knowledgeable about the marketplace. So if you think that you are running into some serious problems, the earlier that you come to us, the better opportunity we have to put together a battle plan for you. And so we're not only in the business of selling. One thing that makes us unique is we're actually here, we love what we do, and so we just want to help you to do what it is that you want to do, whether it's to keep your home, whether it's to sell your home, whether it's to buy a home. We want to help you achieve your goals, not
At
just
the right time.
not just make a commission. That's not what we're about. So I think in that way, I think I'm proud about who we are and what we stand for. And so, if you need that help, don't feel bad, don't feel ashamed, don't, whatever. Just
No,
reach
because
out
sometimes when you do that, you feel bad, you feel ashamed, you lose even more.
Yeah, that's
You
the
got
problem.
to get ahead of it, okay? You can't sit down and wallow for a month and say, oh, I can't do anything, I can't do that. You got to jump out there in the traffic and you got to get ahead of it.
You really do. Otherwise, it becomes too late.
Yeah.
Where there's not anything that anyone can do, which may be that lady's situation. But it certainly sounds like we need to get in there and try to negotiate with the bank or the insurer. We need to find out what that scenario is all about. See how we can help. Who's next?
A few more emails, or two more emails. Got one from Andrew. Congrats to Randy. Brought him Randy a gift. So, as we all know, Randy is follically challenged. So,
To say the least.
So it has a picture of a guy with a huge afro.
Yeah,
So
a 70s
this might be
afro.
Randy
I had that back in
40
the
years
day.
ago.
Before I knew you.
I always found it so hard to keep it round, though. And with
These
me,
days it doesn't have to be round.
I
These
know.
days it's like,
I know,
and
and
that's
I-
cool.
It is cool, but I mean, with me, with my little bit of OCD issues, I can't handle
You had
that.
the afro
I
for real?
need, yeah.
Oh, no.
Before
need
I
it to
met
be
him, because
round.
I've seen pictures of him with hair, people, and it ain't pretty. I'm sorry. You look a lot better bald. I'm just saying.
I think you're wrong, and so do hundreds of women.
I've never done the afro. I think the most I've gotten is like half an inch. My motto is I have to comb it. It needs to be cut. All right, last one we got from Chris. Chris says, happy birthday to Randy. Blessings to you. Thanks for the news.
Thank you, Chris.
All right.
Awesome.
All right.
You got another one, Anthony, or?
We kind of talked about it before. It's just basically talking about, we'll be talking about today as well, how much money do you need to afford a home in Toronto? And I think it's, again, according to this article, around $200,000 per
Yep.
year to crack into the market according to house data. So again, with these, so even with the people Randy was talking about, with the gentleman, $9,000 a year is nice, but you would have to find Sugar Mom was making a little bit more to.
Oh my gosh.
Which he
to make
happens
it-
to have.
There you go. So
It's funny because the other person I was talking about, those two are together, so they can buy a house now and they're in their 20s.
okay, well there you go.
So
Yes, and it goes on to talk about, again, we talked about it all day in the last few weeks. Home prices are down, but affordability is worse than 12 months ago. Again, with the rates gone crazy, it's nice. Again, if you're cash rich, as we've been saying, then you're smiling, you're laughing, you're loving this. This is the
Yeah.
best time for you to get in, secure. If you can buy more than one, buy a bunch, sit on them, and then you're laughing. But if you need a mortgage right now is not the time for that mortgage. Well,
Yeah.
again, it's as Randy was saying, you still want to get in where you can get in. But unfortunately, the mortgage prices right now, not the best. But at least the thing is, you're getting in low. Hopefully, the rates come down, and then your mortgage will come down too eventually. Hopefully, but we don't really know we don't have a crystal ball here, so we're not sure what's going to happen with the rates. But
Yeah.
again, once inflation comes down, hopefully they'll start to bring that down as well. And yeah, that's what I got. So what do you got, Randy? I'm sure you got. We have 10 minutes.
Oh.
I'm sure you got more than 10
yeah,
minutes.
Jackie has another one she wanted to do.
Yeah, well, this one's a quick one, and it kind of goes off what Anthony was saying. And the article is about the daunting costs many Ontario home buyers face in their first year of ownership. So they're talking about like, this is like your down payment, your closing costs, everything if you were to buy a home, right? And what they're saying is, let me go down to this, the most expensive one is in Richmond Hill. So in Richmond Hill, you got to basically have around 400,000 for your first year of home ownership, and that's like your down payment and everything, right? So I know it seems like
Including mortgage and everything?
yeah, like everything, right? In the
Awesome.
first year, what it's going to cost you to own a home in these areas. And then Markham was next at 383. Oakville, you need 378. Vaughan, 369. Toronto, 315.
Because in all those areas you have the double.
Yeah, you got double.
Tags.
Yeah, exactly. So then we get down to the cheaper ones, which is like Sudbury. You need 120,000. Maybe we should all move to Sudbury and live in a
Well,
castle.
how are you going to work?
Remote. Most people work from home now.
No. So you're remotely taking buyers around? You're remotely.
I'm not moving. I'm talking about people who can work from home if they want somewhere cheap and they want a house. Where am I moving at this
Well, why
age,
don't
dude?
they just, instead of going there, why don't they go to
If
like
I win the lottery,
Saskatchewan?
I'll move, but I don't
Or-
even
or
buy
Newfoundland.
How far is
or
Sudbury?
move
A couple
somewhere.
hours? How far?
Sudbury,
Mike, is Sudbury 4 hours?
Yeah, it's about 4 to 4.5 hours, depending on how you drive.
Yeah, no.
The snowbanks are about 6 to 8 feet tall, so take that into account when you think about Sudbury.
So when you go to drive to Sudbury, get an 18-wheeler.
Exactly.
18-wheeler?
The snowbanks are about 8 feet tall, he said.
Yeah, but 18.
I'm just talking about the height. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop.
No, I'm just trying to
Let her-
think
let
of
her be,
all
Randy,
the
let her
vehicles you would not want to drive as a big truck, a big
I
18-wheeler
was
truck.
trying to compare
The number
what
of
the height of
tires.
the snowbank would be with you in a vehicle, okay?
So-
That's
so
all
look,
I was doing.
I
Not
thought you were
easier
comparing
travel.
the number of tires.
No.
Because either one of those. So why 18-wheeler? Oh, because it resembles.
Are you awake right now?
higher height. It's just so illogical on so many different terms. My head is spinning. Okay. Yeah, but you know what? But I do want to go back to your article. That's a fascinating article. That you would need that kind of money for your first year.
Yeah.
I never looked at it that way.
Well, you
so
think if it's over $1 million home, what's your down payment right there?
200,000.
20%.
At least 200.
So that's half of the cost right there, right? Then your
another
mortgage,
60,000,
your mortgage is about what?
60,000,
Over
5,000.
$3,000 if
Call
it's
it five.
800.
Call it 5, so it's 60,000. So that's 260. So
Land
how-
transfer tax, closing costs.
double land transfer tax in a lot of cases.
and we're talking about everything, right? We're talking about even your travel to work, your groceries. This is like,
Is that what they're talking about?
well,
All
that's
that
what they
stuff?
said.
Oh, groceries.
A
Hold on,
year.
they're taking travel to work and groceries?
Listen,
Yeah, 'cause
the
you-
cost that you face in the first year of ownership.
Well, you can't
so you
pay-
still have to add these in.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
you
about
pay for that
that.
regardless.
Well, then I can't see where they're coming up with these figures.
Okay, me
No,
either.
think
So
about it though.
that's
If
what-
they're saying it's 400,000 in Richmond Hill, but the average house in Richmond Hill is probably not a million either.
I don't
it's
wanna do
over
that.
a
I don't
million,
wanna-
Hill?
I
Oh,
don't-
over $1 million. Okay, yeah.
right? But still, then I'm trying to figure out.
Well, if it's
like,
$1.5 million.
That's why I say disclaimer.
No,
when we
but-
read these articles, they're not always.
But you have to read them though. Then that way you'll know
I read
rather than
it.
look at the
All
headline.
right, but if it's $1.5 million, 300,000 alone is your down payment, right? So $400,000 isn't that much. Actually, it's actually
if it's 300,000 down,
yeah, right. So if you look at
So that's
Because,
fine.
yeah.
But if it's 200,000, if it's $1 million home, which you wouldn't get in those areas.
or even
Exactly.
There you
even
go.
$1.25 million would be $250 just for the down payment. Then you have your land transfer tax, which is I can't calculate off the top of my head, but
It's
it's a
called
decent
30,
amount.
40, 50.
You have that. You have
You know what? They're worried about affordability on homes. So why would you tax twice? Like,
Because that's
you
the
know,
government.
Yeah, because they're not worried about affordability. These are the clues. These are the real clues.
The double tax. One goes to the province, one goes to the city, right?
Right. So the thing is,
Which in Durham we don't have.
Right.
Right
This
now.
is we will have it. This is the real clue. The real clue is that they don't care about affordability. They pretend. And it's just like so blatantly obvious, but there might be one person there that does care about it, but that person gets nothing done. The people who are in charge, they don't care about it. And if they did, they wouldn't be adding all the taxes. Do you know that since we had this big, huge increase, I should get the numbers, but I don't want to be all depressed. All these big, huge numbers in home prices, and then big, huge numbers in the cost to build the home, they added on more cost for the builders to build the home that they have to pay to the city. So, like, they're worried about that
What did they
affordability,
say?
but they're tacking on more numbers
An average
to
of
it,
just
so they don't
fees
care.
before
it's over
they even.
100,000.
I
Per
read
home.
somewhere like
How much?
350 to builders by the time
It
they pay all the
depends.
permits and before they even start
Before they even
construction.
start, yeah. Wow.
I read somewhere, yeah.
Well, I'm talking about per
Oh,
dwelling.
not per. Yeah.
Per
No, I'm
dwelling,
talking about
it's
per.
over $100,000 is
per-
going into taxes and levies and
Yeah,
all
I'm not
sorts of
talking
stuff.
per lot. I'm talking like it's
The developer.
upward toward $500,000 the developer's paying before they even get everything in place to build.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
okay.
but if it's like 100 houses, that's not that crazy. Again,
Yeah.
I don't know the numbers.
No, true, and I don't know how big
Plus
of
the
a
red
development she's
tape.
talking about. Yeah, so yeah, that's the thing is that I honestly don't believe now with that clarity of the pace of which the houses grew at $100,000, and basically from 2016 on. Was it 2016 on, with the exception of 2017 to 2020, each year we're growing at over $100,000, and so and so I'm not saying that we're going to continue to grow at that pace. Don't get me wrong. What I am saying is that was just the historical graph that we looked at, and that frequency at some point is going to become even faster.
And just to add on, what I remember what I was going to say before is, if you look at like when you're bidding for homes, like the range in bids can be $50,000 just
Yeah.
under there, right? So,
Yeah.
So
So if you are not in the real estate game and your game is in stocks and bonds and that, I would say that you'll probably do well. But the most wealthy, most Canadians' wealth came from real estate. And so I would say that, looking at that chart, it's clearer than ever that you need to be settled in your own little nest. It's your nest, you get it, but you have to do something that you can afford with the way that Bank of Canada can up your payments. You have to be able to weather that storm. I will say this, and I don't really like what I'm about to say, but we do know that, especially with us, when we started as a couple, we put ourselves in a situation where we had to grow immensely. Our incomes had to grow immensely in order to afford everything. And then we had children. We had to then be able to weather them and take them away on vacation and put away for them to go to school truly was $25,000 a year. To go to school, and these things that you had to begin to grow. But when you put yourself in those situations and you really start struggling and fighting, you find a way to do it. And I don't know how that really works, and I'm not saying to do it for everyone. There is a law called the law of survival, which can really
It kind of comes in.
and if you don't believe in the law of survival, I have a friend who, they've got no money to be able to do anything, and life is so hard, but their fridge breaks down and all of a sudden they get a new fridge. Their car breaks down and all of a sudden they fix
Get
a
it
car.
fixed, yeah.
And the next thing you know, they're on a trip to Italy for 3 weeks. So, but they got no money. And
But when
and
people
so
say
the
I don't
law-
have money, it's not really I don't have money.
Who knows? I
It's-
think it is.
I think a lot of people say that as a general thing. It's quite a, when people say I'm broke, it doesn't mean you're broke. Some of these people that are broke
No, I think it
might
means
have
they're broke.
100,000 in the bank, but to them that's not much money, right? To everybody, it's a little different, right?
Okay, well, I'm going to be on the other side of that fence. I know we don't have much time, but I believe if they say they don't have money,
Oh, we have
they
no
don't,
time.
They don't have money, and I believe if they say that they're broke, I believe that they're broke. And and I don't believe they have $100,000 in the bank and saying that they're broke. I don't believe that. I believe people just generally are sincere about their situation.
I'm not saying they're not
times are hard,
sincere.
and times are
It's
hard.
what they
Yeah, I know. It's the stories you're making up. I get it.
Yeah.
Times are hard. Times
they
are
are.
hard,
They're
and
hard
that's
for
it.
everybody,
But
except for Tiff.
but what happens is we end up rising above them.
Yes.
That's the
There's a
thing.
way out.
That's the opportunities in Canada and the United States that make us special.
We're out of time.
All right, ladies and gents.
Happy birthday, darling.
Thank you.
All right, so thanks for being with us again, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any emails, quandaries, quirks, whatever, all those things, send us an email at onairyourteam.pro. If you want to be entered into the contest, again, we need your email for that as well, so we can send you off an email for that. And as always, it's been your home, your money, and our lives on realityradio101.com.
Bye
Bye
for
for
now.
now.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you for listening to Your Home, Your Money with your hosts, Randy, Jackie, and Anthony, right here on Reality Radio 101.